a standby agency to fill the gap between EMS agencies and local youth sporting agencies. The EMS in general is not well equipped to do that, and it's also typically cost prohibitive for an ambulance service to provide an ambulance and two providers to a youth sporting event. So that's the niche that we fell in, and as we started expanding our services, some of the clients asked for an ambulance. Specifically, a number of school districts that we service, Friday Night Football requires an ambulance, so we purchased an ambulance. And that grew. However, owning an ambulance and operating an ambulance is expensive, so we got into non-emergency transports, primarily from Allegheny Health Network, from Jefferson Hospital, Brentwood Hospital, going to Allegheny General or home. So, yes, that's slide. So there are a couple of things. We did enter into an agreement. You can click on either one of those. That's the first one from last year. We did rent space from Gill Hall Volunteer Fire Department. It was a win for all parties, except Southeast Regional EMS took exception to us renting space in their townships, in their service area. Southeast Regional then went to their township board, which applied political pressure to Gill Hall, and roughly 10 days, 14 days later, Gill Hall asked us to leave, which we did because we didn't want to cause any more disruption or issues within the township and within Gill Hall. But if you read the article, and this will be available to everybody, as to what we planned on doing as far as, again, community education, community CPR classes, those sorts of things. The second one is just recently from last week, where Gill Hall was decertified permanently.
I'm sorry, I can't open. The links are popping up on the screen and I can't slide them over, and I apologize.
When you say Gill Hall was decertified, do you mean the fire department or your location there?
No, we left 6-7 months ago now. It was late last year. I don't have the exact date right off the top of my head. But when Gill Hall asked us to leave, we obliged within a couple of days.
I just didn't understand that last comment, that's all.
And then that was them no longer, Gill Hall Fire Department no longer being certified. And they again mention us in that blurb. Next slide, please. So, talk about operations a little bit. This is our proposal for the township. There would be one advanced life support unit here 24/7. And then we propose either an 8 or 12-hour crew, depending on what metrics and what call volumes happen, to do non-emergency transports. Obviously, the financial resources come from the non-emergency transports. From data that I received from the township, there are about 400 transports per year out of Union Township to local hospitals. And we will have also a paramedic interceptor vehicle, or a fly car as it's called, that can respond to emergencies as well here. So we also look at metrics very heavily, looking at shoot time. Shoot time is the time from when the call is dispatched, go to the corner of here and there, and we monitor the times that it takes from the crew to say they are going to the corner of here and there, in addition to the time that it takes them to get there, time on scene, time to transport to the hospital, time at the hospital, and then time back in service. Those are pretty standard metrics. Nobody's 100%, so we put in our metrics of 97% of the time, having an ALS unit at the site of the emergency in Union Township within 6 minutes.
Is that between the hours of 8 and 8 that you had posted?
Those are 24/7.
Okay.
The 8 and 8 or the 8 to 4 would be the transport unit, so that would not be included in those metrics.
Then that's non-emergency transports?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then anything that's outside of those, we would review for continuous quality improvement, those sorts of things.
Are you ALS or BLS certified?
At this time, we have submitted the paperwork to the state and to become ALS certified. Our biggest hold up right now is being the acquisition of certain medications that are in high demand. So a lot of vendors aren't interested in the 10 that I'm buying, they're interested in the 10,000 that hospitals are buying.
So when did you put your application in to be ALS certified?
Excuse me, if we can, please, I would love to hear these questions, I think everybody would, but can we get through the scope of the
But
PowerPoint?
this is.
And then at the end, we can get names and do it properly as public comment.
Excuse me, but this has everything to do with what was just stated. When did you put your application in to be ALS certified?
Approximately 1 month ago.
Okay, because today I spoke to EMS West, and they're the regional EMS council
They are.
that is contracted by the Department of Health in Pennsylvania.
They are.
And they said you do not have an application in. They checked at the state level, and I talked with the Department of Health. I talked to a Lori Driscoll, and she issues the licenses, and she is the EMS program specialist. And I'm sorry to beg to differ with you, but you do not have an application in. I checked that myself this morning.
This would be awesome for public comment, and it's really important, and these are the things that everybody
I
needs to
think
hear,
that this
but
is
I think
very
we need to wait for public
important.
comment.
I'm sorry, Terry, but this is very important.
I agree.
He's representing that they are it's on their,
We are.
that
let
they
me-
are
hold on, let
ALS
me-
certified, and
hold
you are
on.
not.
That
And you
is
do
not at all
not
what-
have an application in.
Ma'am, can I speak? I said the proposal is for an ALS ambulance service. Currently, we are not ALS, that is correct. We expect to be ALS in the next few weeks.
Okay, sir, if you could please go on, and public